All right, welcome back. We're on the final page of our Exam 1 review for Math 120, page 5. And so we're now looking at a lot of percentage type problems. So the first one wants you to just convert 0.8% to a decimal. Now remember, there's a little trick of moving the decimal point 2 places to the left or to the right, depending on what you're changing it to. And remember, I had a little diagram, alphabetical order D and P. And you kind of have an arrow going this way, arrow going that way, and it's always 2. So depending on which direction you're moving it, it's always 2 places. So in this case, we're changing it to a decimal. So that means we're starting with a percent. So we're starting over here, and we want to go over this way to the decimal. So we got to go 2 places to the left. So 1, 2. So we should end up with 0.008. So 2 places to the left. Now in this one, convert 0.8 to a percent. So now we're starting with a decimal. We want to go back this way. So 2 places to the right. So 1, 2. So this looks like 80. And now don't forget the percent symbol. It seems trivial, but you definitely need that percent symbol in there to verify that it's a percent. Okay, now for these problems here, we have our different rules that we could use. One of the properties was that is over of equals percent over 100. And we could use some letters to represent those as well. So remember, P, B, and R we used in our notes. So in this case, P is P is not our percent. That's probably the biggest issue with this. R is our percent. So R is always first. It's the easiest one to identify because of that percent symbol. Now, whatever follows the word of is our base. And then lastly, our P, which in this case is unknown. So if you remember the formula, it's P over B equals R over 100. So all you're doing now is just putting everything into the right spots. So we don't know what P is, but we're putting it over our 12 equals 38 over 100. So there's the first step, is just getting all those pieces identified and putting them into the right spots in your formula. Now remember what we do next. When there's an equal sign, we can cross multiply. So we'll put the 100 in P on the left, 12 times 38. Let's make sure we do it right. And that gives us 456. So 456 over here. And now last step is to get rid of that 100. So we can divide both sides by 100. And we get 4.56. Now the big thing is that your answer should make sense. And you can think of it very generally. It's like, okay, we're taking about a third, a little over a third of 12. A little over a third of 12. So it should be smaller than 12. Your answer is the big thing. And our answer is definitely smaller than 12. And again, how big does this look compared to 12? It's about a third of the size, right? A little bit more, and which is what we want and what we expect. So that should be right. Now, a little bit different problem, but same process. Identify your rate. In this case, we don't know what the base is, and then the is our part. So if we put everything together, we should end up with that. And now, same as before, we want to cross multiply. Whatever the unknown is, that's the one I would have multiplied first. So B in 35, so 35B, 150 times 100 better be 15,000. And so if we divide both sides by 35, let's see what we get. 15,000 divided by 35 equals, ugh, not a nice answer. 428.5 0.57. So now it doesn't say anything about rounding, but make sure you follow the directions for rounding. So in this case, I'm going to go 2 decimal places, and so that would be my answer. And again, you can double check it. You know, again, you're taking 35% of some number to get 150. So that number has to be bigger than 150. It can't be smaller than it. So in this case, the 425 looks, or 428.57 looks right. So numbers are not always going to be nice. That's the thing. Okay, a wordier type of problem, but let's just be careful. In 2013, Carol sold $300,000 worth of books. She did well. In 2014, she sold $900,000 worth of books. Wow, that must be some book. Her 2014 sales were blank of her 2013 sales. Now, I'm going to be a little sneaky and put a percent in there. They want to know what percent is it going to be. Now, we just have to be careful what our PBs and Rs are. In this case, we don't know the percentage, so R is unknown. So now the question is which is which with these numbers? So let's read it again. Her 2014 sales were what percent of her 2013 sales? Of always points to the base. So 2013 sales is the base, which was the 300,000. So B is 300,000. I can write well. And so that must mean that P has to be the 900,000. So now we're good to go. So 900,000 over 300,000 equals R over 100. So same as before, cross multiply. So we got some pretty big numbers in here, but 900,000 times 100, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. So we're good there. And so now if we divide both sides by the 300,000, then R should be 300. So 300% increase. 300, well, I shouldn't say increase, but 300% of her 2013 sales. It's 3 times as big. It's 3 times as big, so 300% increase. So now the last problem is a percent increase decrease problem. We can see right in that final question. What is the percent decrease? Now remember, this is a different formula, so you want to be careful that you don't mess this up. It's easy to confuse it with these PBR questions, but it's not quite the same. So the formula, if you remember, doesn't matter if percent increase or decrease, it's always going to be the same formula. The change over the original value times 100%. So let's read through it real quick. The sale of textbook decreased from 3,500,000 in its 3rd edition to 2,975,000 in its 4th edition. What was the percent decrease? So the first thing is that change, that difference. So we want to subtract those two numbers. And that will be the top of our fraction. But now the original value, so which one was original? Where did it start? That's the question you have to answer. Where did it start before it changed? It started at the 3,500,000 and then it went down to the 2,975,000. So 350,000 times 100%. So let's make sure we do it right. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 2, 9, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3. So 525,000 should be our difference. Over the 3.5 million times the 100%. So still got it in my calculator, so now I'm just going to divide by the 3.5 million. And I get 0.15. So 0.15 times 100 better be 15%. So it's a 15% decrease in sales. Interesting, right? All right, but that wraps up this review. So you should be in pretty good shape for the exam. So we will see you in the next videos. Take care.